What up? What's going on, y'all? See that Last Line is in the chat. My buddy Last Line. Welcome, sir. Nintendo 64. Well, not really playing. This is a weird stream. This is going to be a weird stream. And weird even by my standard, I guess. I was screwing around with my gaming PC and got all these pictures moved over on there and set up on the screensaver. And it's just running, it's just cycling through a bunch of photographs of different game systems and games and random nonsense that I either took photos of or a couple of these photos are from the internet for like editing purposes and videos and stuff like that. But most of these are photographs that I took. Like that's my stuff right there that I used to have this. I don't have a lot of this stuff anymore. I do have quite a bit of stuff, but I don't have a lot of this stuff. Mike Wolf joins the chat. What's up, Mike? So I'm just letting this random photography run in the background as we hang out. I figured I would make this stream very chat centric. We could talk about whatever's on your guys' mind. I mean, to an extent. We're not going to get into like a bunch of stupid shit, but video game stuff or whatever, you know, whatever. And kind of look at this hardware and reminisce about the good old days of owning a lot of this stuff. What's up, Nurse Healer? How are you? Welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. It finally has gotten warm enough to where I don't feel cold. I actually was able to turn off my heater and everything and just chill. So that's nice. That's nice. My feet have been freezing for like a week. The older we get, the worse the cold feels. I'm figuring that out. Mike Wolf says, dude, I didn't listen to you. I tried to add 2 of those FPGAs to the cart. It wouldn't let me. Yeah, what Mike's talking about is this really cool FPGA PlayStation 1 system. Luke was talking to me about this earlier too. I know we had this little sort of small discussion on the Discord about it. I looked into it a little bit. It's fascinating. It's not expensive. It's like $150 or something like that. It's an FPGA PlayStation 1, which it sounds interesting. Now here's the thing. If you want to play discs, like actual PlayStation 1 CDs, you have to buy this extra add-on attachment thing. I think they're calling it a dock. And it plays CDs. That's what it's for. So, I don't know how much that costs, but I don't think it's a lot. I think it's actually pretty cheap. Which is very refreshing to see because a lot of these types of things, these devices and consoles and stuff, seem to be pretty pricey, but this one does not. And apparently you can only buy one, at least one at a time. I don't know how that works, but to be continued. As this develops, we'll continue to have information from our source, from our man in the field, Mike Wolf. I'm not getting one because, frankly, I have a PlayStation 3. I have 2 PlayStation 3s, and they play PS1 games. So I can play all my disc games, and I have a ton of digital games. Plus, if I really want to, I can play emulators. So, and enhance the games and do all kinds of stuff like that. So to me, this is sort of in the same situation as the Analog Duo. I have stuff that sort of makes this not relevant to me, but that doesn't mean it's not relevant at all. It doesn't mean it's not worth looking at and thinking about and valuable to a lot of other people. So yeah, I respect it very much. But I'm not buying it. I don't need it. I wouldn't use it. It would just be another thing to own that takes up space and costs money. And there's plenty of other people that would definitely get more use out of it and enjoy having it than I would. So I will not stand in the way of somebody else getting one. I don't know how many they're making or how available they're going to be, but yeah, anyway. So obviously these photographs you're seeing here are stuff that I took. That's my TurboGrafx CD, one of my most prized possessions. I love it. I love it. There's the Intellivision with one of my favorite Intellivision games, Space Armada. It just cycles through all these pictures. So, last line, is this chatting action only or any games on the docket planned? I'm not really planning to play anything, but this is my PC running right here. You can see my mouse cursor. So if I was to decide to, if I got a hankering for some gaming, I could just log into the computer and play something. So it's possible, but I'm not really that concerned about it. Like I said, I just got all these pictures on here and the screensaver. I just wanted to let it run. Just let it run with all my stuff that I used to own. I own some of this stuff, but a lot of this stuff I don't own anymore. That one's not in great condition. Vector Man. But that's a fun game. I remember when that came out. It was sort of like Sega's answer to Donkey Kong Country in a way. It was pretty cool. I remember, yeah. I remember. Space Armada, the Intellivision answer to Space Invaders. Yeah. You can't even tell what that is. That's my Duo, my PC Engine Duo RX on the side, looking sideways at it, and my TurboGrafx CD. It's funny how it just randomly picks these things. Sega. It's the Sega Saturn. A lot of these pictures have little hairs, cat hairs and stuff. You don't see them until you take the picture, and you try like hell to clean them as best you can, but no matter what you do, you're going to have some kind of little specks or something. It is what it is. EJ Hilt. What's up, brother? Just got done playing Streets of Rage 2. What we playing today, Cyrus? Not really playing anything at the moment. We're just staring at photographs that I took. Mostly it's all photographs that I took. If it comes up on one that it's one that I didn't take, I'll tell you. Because there are some in here that are just random stuff that I had downloaded that I used for other purposes, editing and doing videos and stuff. There's my Neo Geo that I used to have. I took a lot of photos of it. It was fun having a Neo Geo. It just wasn't something I was going to be able to really, enjoy to its fullest. Just too expensive. Last line, Segata Sanshiro needs to be in your screensaver. Yes, I agree with that. I will make a note of that. And Johnny Turbo. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Those guns, I had to sell those guns a while back. I mean, it was fun to have them. I just didn't really use them, and they were pretty expensive, so I sold them. I sold a lot of stuff. I still have that. Still have my Duo RX with the, controller and all that. But yeah, there's a lot of photographs in here of things that I had to sell. Pretty much any Genesis cartridge that you see, I've sold. I pretty much only have like 2 or 3 Genesis cartridges and then my EverDrive. And that's about it. Yeah, and I had a pretty damn big collection of Genesis cartridges and 32X cartridges. Sold that Core Graphics with Street Fighter. That was hard, but again, gotta make these decisions sometimes. It is what it is. It is what it is. Burger Time. We were just playing that yesterday. I'm starting to figure that game out. I don't know, if I'm gonna get good at it, but I'm definitely less crappy. I'm slowly developing some sort of skill. There's the greatest D-pad controller of all time. What is known as the Model 2, the Japanese model Sega Saturn controller. I love it. I love it. This is like looking at like photos of my kids. This is like, and there's my TurboGrafx. And then, oh, another of my TurboGrafx. That's right. Oh, here we go. Where did you learn to cry? Cybermorph. Yeah, it's not as bad as people say. Cybermorph's pretty good. It's not as good as we wanted it to be. I mean, it was the pack-in title for the Jaguar, and we were hoping it was going to be a lot better. But it's not really bad. We got all kinds of stuff here. Game Gear. Jaguar. Dragon. Bruce Lee. The Dragon and Bruce Lee story. Road Blaster. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's for the Saturn thing. Oh, here's a bunch of Atari cartridges. 2600 on the left. 7800. This is from several years ago. Several years ago. My collection was much smaller back then. Let's see. Let me bring up the chat here so everybody can all be together. So happy together. Nurse Healer Video says, at a certain point in any genre, one has to decide if you're just building a collection or condensing to your most prized possessions, and for what reasons. The latter then becomes a legacy. Very poetic and very true. Yeah, you got to make tough decisions sometimes. Part of the reason that I invested so much into all the retro crap that I've bought over the years is because I knew if push come to shove, I would be able to resell, you know, or I don't know if resell is the right word. I would be able to sell the stuff that I owned. And thankfully, I mean, it sucks to have to sell things, but sometimes you're right. It's like, do I really need this? Is it just taking up space? Is it sitting around waiting to get damaged in some way? So you make hard decisions. There's certain things I've let go, certain things I haven't. Tylord, what beautiful electronic children you have. Thank you, Tylord. I'm so proud of them. Oh, there's my Game Boy games. I just have a Game Boy Everdrive and I have one cartridge. I have Tetris. And I sold all my Game Boy cartridges. I had a huge Game Boy cartridge collection. That was, you know, it is what it is. It doesn't matter because, like I said, I can still play all the games. But yeah, that's a Famicom disc on the left there. I'm not sure which game that is. It might be Doki Doki Panic. I'm not sure. Double Dragon 2. I wish I would have kept that cartridge. I sold pretty much all my NES cartridges. I do have some NES cartridges though. Light gun games mainly. Because I can't play light gun on my on my twin Famicom. I guess I could probably play it on my top loader, but I don't know. Nam 75, one of my favorite Neo Geo cartridges. I was very happy to have that. More Sega Saturn photos. Oh yeah. I like the screensaver. It's pretty nice. It's like just randomly grabs these pictures and throws them up in different ways. It's pretty cool. Ah yes. My PC Engine Core Graphics 2. I had to sell that. Unfortunately. I do still have my Sega CD and Genesis and 32X and all that. I have both of those Genesis. I keep thinking I'm going to sell the other, like the Model 1, because I don't really need it, but I worry if I part ways with it and then something happens to my Model 2, will I regret it? So I haven't done it. It's sort of my backup. Golden Axe. That's a good game. Back to the Future. Wow, I didn't even remember owning this game. I took all these random photographs of different cartridges and stuff, and it's like, when did I own that? I don't know. I don't remember. There she is. The Intellivision. Oh yeah. Console that an equal number of people probably love that also hate. That is the TurboGrafx Mini that I had to sell. I had that for a very brief time and then sold it. I had 2 of those. I gave one to my brother, and then I sold the one that I had. Tecmo Super Bowl, that's a badass game. And that's the TurboGrafx joystick. I still have that. That's on the right side. You can't see it very well. That's what that is. What have you guys been up to? What's been going on this weekend? What have you been playing and doing and thinking about, dreaming about? What's been aggravating you? What's been on your mind? There's the other video. I love the television. In television, old school in television is like I said, it's one of those, I think you just have to have had an experience with it back in the day. Otherwise, you're really not going to get it. But if you did have that experience with it, I think that most people have nostalgia for it, for sure. So, you know. Tylord says, at damn work today. Oof. That sucks. That sucks. I'm sorry. I only have one job. I have thought about trying to get a second job. I don't really want to do that. But I have thought about it. I had to buy a new car this past year, and it has crippled my economic standing. It has really been tough. Like, my payments are very, very high, and insurance is higher, and it's just tough. So I don't have a lot of money for buying extra stuff, or whatever. So I have thought about maybe getting a second job, but I don't know. Haven't done it yet. Eating Paste. What's up, Eating Paste? Hello, sir. I think that's true of the entire vintage era. Oh, right. If you don't have that initial experience, you're probably not going to get it. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Right? Except maybe Neo Geo. Because it's an arcade, machine. But I think that's a good point. Super Nintendo. I think most people can go back to Super Nintendo and have a great time, even if they never grew up with it. Because Super Nintendo is more advanced with the sound and graphics than a lot of other stuff before it. And it has a lot of buttons on the controller. It's 6 buttons on the controller. And, the Genesis, as great as it was, most games are not 6 button. And that's the same with PC Engine. Only a few of the games actually support that. But Super Nintendo was 6 buttons from the beginning. That's about, I don't know, maybe as far back as you can get. It's kind of funny because I think more people could appreciate Super Nintendo than could appreciate like Nintendo 64, which is strange to say, but it's because the graphics, graphics for an N64 are kind of blocky and the textures are kind of, muddled and stuff. And the controller is kind of weird. So that actually, I think, takes a little bit more. Like, you have to have some nostalgia for N64, I think, to really appreciate it. Whereas, like I said, with Super Nintendo, I think it's more palatable to people that didn't even experience it. That's just my thoughts. That's my opinion. Let's see here. Last line says, why not sign up for a delivery service to do a little side hustle like I do, but full time? I've thought about that. Now that I have a good car, I have thought about that. I might do something like that. I'm not sure. I haven't really seriously looked into this, but it's something to think about. Although I do see a lot of people's results from that being kind of questionable. Like, they end up putting a lot of wear and tear on their vehicle and spending a lot of money on gas and not making as much money as they think they would. So I'm not sure. Something to look at, though. I know you've had good luck with it, but I think your area seems to be, I don't know. I don't know how it would be here. I really don't know, but it seems like it works for you. Activated Complex. There are a lot of young people who hadn't been born yet playing those old consoles. Well, that's true. That is true. That is true. And, which ones they find more appealing. I don't know for what reason different people find things appealing, I guess. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, who knows? Everybody's individual and they have their own reasons for things. It just seems to me like there are some that might be a little bit harder for people to get into. Eating Paste, I don't consider SNES vintage. Well, I mean, it is pretty old at this point, Eating Paste, but the games look really good. They still hold up really, really well. Activated Complex says both on OG hardware and emulation. Yep, that's true. Eating Paste, but that might just be me being old. I think that might be the case. I think that might be true. I totally agree. Super Nintendo aged much better than N64. At least I think for that's just my that's just kind of what I think. I don't know. Activated says, yeah, Super Nintendo games look great and they're simple to play. Early 3D stuff was rough both on console and PC. Very true. Very true. You know, especially because back in the beginnings of 3D for PC, most people didn't have a very good PC. You know, graphics accelerators were not very common for a long time. And then when people started to get them, they didn't get the best ones. You know, like, I mean, I had Voodoo 2 and a Voodoo 3 back in the early 2000s, and we played a lot of like Team Fortress Classic and, you know, Half-Life and different strategy games and stuff like that. But the experience of 3D gaming on a PC back then was very hit or miss and complex because you had to do a lot of your own like optimization. You had to figure out like how to turn everything off that didn't need to be running and go in and mess with the ionize and the config sys and all this kind of stuff. And then you had all these devices that had their own drivers, and sometimes things would work and they wouldn't, and it was a messy situation. And you can go back to a lot of that stuff now, and most of it will work through like DOSBox and stuff like that, but some of it still has issues. Some of that stuff still has issues from back in that day. And of course, PlayStation and N64 and, you know, even like Xbox, PS2 and GameCube, they had their own set of issues. It was a gradual improvement over time. Let's see. Eating Pace says N64 aged like milk in an open container outside of the fridge. Oh wow. I wouldn't look. I love the N64 and I love playing it, but I'm not gonna sit here and say that it looks beautiful. I mean, there's a lot of games on there that unfortunately, yeah, most people are gonna look at that and be like, "What the hell is this?" You know, I had it whenever I was in college. You know, I was like 19, 20 years old, and I had it at the time when it was new. So to me, it's always going to be pretty cool, but I'm aware that it doesn't look, it doesn't hold up very well. Some N64 games look better than others. It's like PlayStation. There are some PlayStation games, PS1 games, that hold up very, very well. And then there's some that really do not. It's just that it was like a new era. It was a new thing going on, you know? You know, they were just figuring out 3D, getting it to work right and look good. And that was a situation. Yeah. Activated says, with delivery, the thing to watch out for is your supplementing income by taking value out of your vehicle. Might look into whether you get a write-off. That's an interesting point. Last line says, my area isn't all that busy, but I'm smart about what orders to take and when to go out. Trial and error. Yeah, complex. I track mileage and expenses for when I do my quarterly taxes. That's a good idea. I guess you would have to do that if you're going to be doing that. Nodding 56. What's up? He says, Super Nintendo is over 30 years old. Wow, I would classify it as vintage. 30 years, can you believe that, guys? When did it come out? 91? Is that right? 1991? Yeah, that was a long time ago. That's my Master Gear adapter with Rostan on Game Gear, which, by the way, is a lot more fun than you might think. Rostan is a badass game, and it's a good port. The Master System port of Rostan is not bad. Activated says, any old game or console that was trying too hard to be multimedia will be hard to get people into. But not just because that part looks so rough, also because those games were basic to fit on the CD, along with all that awful video. You know, I still want to play through the Sherlock Holmes games on the TurboGrafx. I really do. I know that the video's not great, you know, it's not great quality, but I still want to have that experience because I can remember, it's very nostalgic, right? You remember back in the day seeing the commercials for everything, and I want to have that experience. But I have tried to play the Sherlock Holmes games, and man, those multimedia games, wow, they're boring as hell, man. It's hard to get into those games because you're trying to solve a mystery, but they don't really guide you very well, and you're wasting a ton of time. It just feels kind of frustrating. But I do at some point want to go through those games. It Came from the Desert on the TurboGrafx is definitely a little easier to get into, but that game, I'm sorry, that game kind of sucks. Like, it's goofy and fun, but it's not. Yeah, the gameplay, when you actually are playing the game, it's not great. I wish it was better. Eating Pace says, 3DFX Voodoo cards were incredible. I ran them for 2 full generations, and I would have kept going if they hadn't been bought and killed. Yeah, me and my brother both did that. He did he actually got all the way to the Voodoo 4000 or whatever it was. And I think he was planning on doing the 2 graphics cards, the SLI thing, but then, like you said, things changed, and you know, I kind of got out of PC gaming when that happened because I was like, you know, I had a Pentium 2 266 and a Voodoo 3000, and it was good for a long time. But when it was time to upgrade, I bought another computer, and it was a Athlon 64, and I got like I can't remember what the graphics card was, but it was an ATI graphics card, and it burned up on me. Like, the graphics card burned up, and it was because I didn't properly ventilate the PC, which I didn't realize was going to be a problem. And when that happened, I kind of checked out. I was like, okay. And shortly after, went back into console gaming again. So, and I've dabbled in PC gaming here and there, but I've never really gotten back into it too much. Last Line says Sega Genesis came out more than 35 years ago. That's crazy. That's just crazy. Last Line, wait, were you playing Master System Rostan on the Game Gear? How does that work given the resolution difference? It's a good question. The Master Gear converter allows you to play any Master System game you want on the Game Gear. And the Game Gear will display it on the screen, full screen, except I think it does have like some black bars, small black bars. And the pixels are kind of, they're not super sharp. So it's kind of condensing the resolution. It's an old technology. So you don't get like crisp, super clear. I mean, it's the Game Gear, you know, you're not going to get that anyway. But it does work. Some games it works better than others. But I still have that Master Gear and my Game Gear. I don't have the Rostan cartridge anymore, but I do have a EverDrive. And the EverDrive does work on the Game Gear with the Master Gear. But I have a Game Gear EverDrive as well, so I actually don't even need to use that. I can actually run Master System ROMs directly off my Game Gear EverDrive if I so decide to do. Activated says, oh, I remember further back than that. Dragon's Lair in the arcade. Oh, yeah. With everybody's jaw hitting the floor from how good it looked. Of course, it was kind of cheating by being a Laserdisc. Yeah, those Laserdisc games were crazy back in the day. You know, Dragon's Lair games and Mad Dog McCree and all that. That was crazy. They sucked though, man. I mean, they looked beautiful, but you couldn't control jack shit. You had like basically no control. That was disappointing. Tyler says Sherlock is confusing. It is. I've tried to play through the first one a little bit and I kind of just gave up. I didn't really give up so much as I guess I did give up. I was going to say I didn't really give up. I just kind of stopped. But I was kind of tired of it. I'd like to go back to it at some point, but yeah. Activator says, or rather magnetic resonance disc. Ooh, that sounds very Half-Life. Magnetic resonance disc. Gordon, did you turn on the magnetic resonance disc? They're waiting for you, Gordon. Anyway. Last line. I was NVIDIA at the time. I had a Riva TNT2. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's fancy. That was fancier than what I had. Activated says, I'm still a console gamer, but on PC where all the console games are ultimate in backwards compatibility. Yeah, I mean, emulation has come a long way on pretty much everything. There's only, I mean, seriously though, nobody, unless you're somebody who grew up with some of these consoles and you're just really in love with the consoles, emulation's fine for pretty much everything up to like, I don't know, GameCube, you know, PS2, GameCube. Because I think once you get past that, then it gets a little weird, like with the Xbox and the Xbox 360 and all that, and PS3. It gets kind of wonky and weird. But up to that point, it's, you know, you can do some seriously awesome retro gaming just using RetroArch. Or, you know, using the individual emulators, which I do for some of that stuff. Nurse Hiller Video says, when you've been around since before PCs, internet or video games, vintage takes on variable meanings. Yeah. That's probably true. That's probably true. That's probably true. I was thinking about this the other day. Back when I was young, people used to talk about going antiquing. They were like, we're going to go to the antique stores and check them out, and we're going to go antiquing. And we sort of do that. Like, that's sort of what we do. But we're doing it with like media, video games, movies, music. Our antiquing it's the same thing. It's just that we call it something else, and it's electronics. But even antiquers did electronics, just not the ones that we do. So it's interesting. Last line, did you recap your Game Gear? I know they're notorious for that. No, I haven't done that. The one that I own is really not going to be able to be recapped. It's just problematic. Certain models are easier to do than others, and the one that I bought was cheap. I got it off eBay. It's not the original one that I used to have. That one I gave to my little brother back when I was in college. The one that I have now is one I got off eBay for pretty cheap a few years ago. But unfortunately, it's not a model that's easy to fix and modify. So, yeah, not really. I'm not really doing that. But it would be great. It would be awesome to do the full modification and all that. But I just, you know, put the really awesome screen on there and everything. But unfortunately, mine is not really one that you can do that. You can, but it would be, you'd have to find somebody willing to do it, and then it would probably be very expensive. So, Activated Complex says, do you know who ate all the donuts, Gordon? What are you doing? Get away from there. Sweet and Tender Hooligan. Buenos nachos. Buenos nachos. Sweet and Tender Hooligan. Hola. Holla. Activated Complex says, up through PS4 now. We've got Bloodborne running 60 frames per second on PC now and emulation. Choice of emulator matters, but Nintendo got emulators for everything up to Switch that work great. I think that some of that is accurate. I think that it depends on how good your PC is. That's the other thing. And it's game independent. You know, some games work really, really good, and some games do not. And some services obviously are not ever going to really work through emulation. It's a mixed bag, you know, but it definitely has come a long way, and you can absolutely have some fun playing with that and enhancing some games. But yeah, I think it's kind of, you know, it just depends on which games you're talking about and that sort of thing. Last line, yes, the nachos are good. What are on them, sweet? What are on them? Up and at them. Up and at them. My eyes, the goggles do nothing. Activated says, antiquing probably hit just as hard by people scouring those shops for stuff to sell on eBay at inflated prices. Yeah, probably so. Sweet says, uno más cerveza, por favor. Of course, so evil. I don't know very much Spanish, but I know a little bit. I know enough to get myself in trouble. Sweet and tender. Tu pelos es más piojos. Piojos de los muertos. Yes. Sí. Oh, man. Yeah, so, I don't know. Like, there's really not a reason, like a reasonable reason to own all the retro consoles that I have. Everything that my hardware from my Intellivision can do, I can do on an emulator. Absolutely. Even those homebrew games, there's an emulator that'll do all that kind of stuff. Vaya con Dios. Sí, señor. The Atari 7800 Plus, totally not needed at all, because an Atari 7800 emulator can do everything I can do with that. ColecoVision, that one may be a little different, because I haven't found a ColecoVision emulator that does the Super Game Module properly. I haven't found one. So maybe I'm ignorant about that, but I don't know. Atari 5200 emulators do that fine. Atari 8-bit computers are emulated fine. TurboGrafx, Master System, the Sega CD, 32X, all that. Super Nintendo. Now the 3DO, I'm not 100% sure. It might have a few issues. Sega Saturn still has a little bit of ways to go before it's perfect. The Atari Jaguar is now emulated better than the actual console, which is why I sold my Jaguar. So yeah, man, you can absolutely have a fantastic, amazing retro experience without owning any of this crap that I have. It's something I think about. I do think about that quite a bit. I love this stuff, though. I do. Is it smart to love these things? Probably not. Probably not. But we can't help who we fall in love with. Activated says, nothing reproduces the experience of a CRT connected to OG hardware. Definitely can relate to that. I think that's more a thing up through PS1 era. Yeah. I did have several CRTs. I had several of them sort of collected, and I weeded them all out. Some of that was very heartbreaking. It's very, very heartbreaking stuff. But I do now. I have one CRT TV left. It's a 26-inch Sony Trinitron. It's really nice. And I have one CRT computer monitor that I got from my aunt. And that's the two CRTs that I still have. Everything else I got rid of. I kind of regret. There's one that I wanted to keep, but it was too big. It was a 36-inch Sony Trinitron, and I really wanted to keep it, but I couldn't. And it got destroyed. I don't even want to. It's heartbreaking to even tell you about this. I may have mentioned this on a stream once upon a time. I found these 2 giant 36-inch CRTs sitting by a dumpster. And I wanted to keep at least one of them, but I couldn't. And when it came time for me to move, I knew I had to get rid of them. And I nearly broke my back, literally, trying to move these TVs, and I took them out and set them right back out by the dumpster where I found them. Unfortunately, that dumpster was like right close to my bedroom window, so it was like not too far away. And unfortunately, I was laying in bed the morning after I took them out there, and I heard the maintenance people from the apartment complex destroy those TVs, like smash them with a hammer and throw them in a dumpster. I couldn't believe they did that. It was heartbreaking. That was heartbreaking. But at least I still have the one that I have. It's a nice one. And Television Gamer Casey is among us. Evening, Cyrus and chat. What's up, Casey? Activated Complex. Well, I love old tech and old hardware. I'm a nerd for split flap clocks. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, we used to have those. And Solari board displays, real books, old music players. It's good to have living examples of old, brilliantly made tech. My buddy Max, whenever I went up to see him in Pittsburgh, he gave me a Sony boombox. It's a nice one. It's not too big, but it sounds really good. And it plays cassette tapes, CDs, and MP3 CDs. Plus it has a nice radio. And I keep it sitting on top of my computer up here, and I listen to radio on it all the time. And he bought me a cassette of Skid Row, the only decent album. But it's really nice. And I got some CDs for it. It's nice to have, like you said, some older kind of tech. Oh, plus I got that thing from my cousin. The, what is it called? It's an MP3 player that's a cassette tape that you can put in a cassette player and it'll actually play MP3s on your system. Mixtape. It's called Mixtape. Pretty cool. Mixing the old with the new. Oh, Kuya's here. What's up, Kuya? Welcome. Hello, Kuya. Last line. That's terrible. I know. The TV getting... Oh, my God. They both got just destroyed. I had to listen to it happening, and it was brutal. It was brutal. I was like, no. Yeah. It was bad. Activated says, yeah, it's messed up. Frycomb 79 says MP3 CDs. Ooh la la. Yes. Yeah, you could put a crap ton of MP3s on a CD. It's a good... I love MP3 CDs. I had back in the early, I think it was 99 or 2000, I bought an it was like a Discman that played MP3s off of CDs, and we burned tons of MP3s onto discs, and I would just listen to them because I was working at night doing like data entry at that time, and I would just listen to that all night long. You could listen to one disc and you wouldn't finish that disc. You could go through that whole disc and, you know, still have music left by the end of the night. It's pretty cool. It's basically a tape cassette Everdrive. Yeah, the mixtape. It's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. Skid Row rocks. I like Skid Row. Sebastian Bach is awesome. I never got to see him do the Rocky Horror thing when he was doing that, but I wanted to because I think Sebastian's pretty cool. But I never got to see that. I kind of have a special place in my heart for those 80s glam rock bands. You know, Poison, you know, Bon Jovi, Rat, White Snake. Yeah. There's some good stuff back then. Motley Crue. Activated says, my dad gave me his old Sansui stereo receiver he used in Japan in the 70s, and it went on strong for 40 years until it failed spectacularly. Oh, wow. And I mean, fire shooting out of the vents on top. God dang. It went out with a thunder. Fire! Dude, hey, if it's gonna go out, that's the way to do it. Damn. Wow. Isn't it amazing? Kuya, what's your favorite music? My favorite music. I like a lot of different stuff, dude. I like a lot of different stuff. I mean, I listen to, everything from Johnny Cash to Eminem to, so many different genres, and I just like good music. I listen to a lot of symphony music, because when I would write books, when I was writing a lot, that's the perfect thing to set you in the mood and get your brain going, thinking up like visual stuff for scenes and stuff in your book. So I listen to a lot of movie soundtracks. I still listen to a lot of symphony. Like when I have a lot of ideas for things that I'll never do, but I just like to see it in my head. It's fun, So yeah, I do a lot of different types of stuff. Guns N' Roses, hell to the yeah, dude. Guns N' Roses, that might be my favorite band. Old school Guns N' Roses. I love Guns N' Roses. Like everything they have ever done. Like almost. Even like Chinese Democracy, I like that. I love Guns N' Roses. Last line says, speaking of glam, Billy Idol gonna be... I love Billy Idol, dude. He's better than people think he is. For some reason, I don't know. People got an idea of Billy Idol as being kind of a goofball, or too too 80s or something. Go back and listen to some of his stuff and watch some of his videos. That dude was really creative. The people that were helping him put together what he was doing, I think that was wow, there's a lot of dirt and whenever I took that picture, holy crap, look at all that dirt. It's terrible. Anyway, yeah, I like Billy Idol. Sweet Tender, oh hey Kuya, didn't see you come in there. Cyrus, do you like Kitty Wells? I don't know. Kitty Wells doesn't ring a bell. Kitty Wells doesn't ring a bell. I'm sure if I heard something that Kitty had done, it would click in my head, but it's not a name that I'm super familiar with. He said I had to leave Stuffy Land tweet. Oh, I don't know what that means. Last line, Cyrus, is that I listen to everything meme that you bust him on some black metal or mumble rap? Dude, I like everything. I do. Now, I don't like everything of everything, but I do like some of everything. You know what I mean? Know what I mean, Vern? Know what I mean? Kuya, yeah, I like Chinese Democracy. It's fun. It's fun. Fuck, it is. Great on GNR. Yeah. Oh man, Billy Idol. He was in the OG punk scene in England. His band Generation X. He's good. I love Billy Idol. Making Believe. Yes. It wasn't God who made honky tonk angels. Oh, there it is. There's my Street Fighter that I had to sell. I had that. That was a nice one. I do kind of regret selling that one, but I can still play it on my EverDrive. But it was nice. It was very nice. I loved it. I took care of it. I petted it often. Talked to it very sweetly. It's like, good morning. Hi, Street Fighter 2 for PC Engine. How you doing? It was the quiet type, Our relationship really wasn't going anywhere. So I had to move on. But I do miss it very much. Very much. Desert Strike. Return to the Gulf. If they only knew. It's not just a game. It's a prophecy. Oh, Evander Holyfield boxing. Most people don't remember that game very well. They know Mike Tyson's Punch Out, obviously. Buster Douglas boxing. Obviously, there's a lot of other boxing games. But that one, I don't think as many people remember that one. I thought it was a pretty good game. Activated says, I think liking listening to everything is understood to still mean everything good, with some talent and artistry, mumble rap isn't a genre. It's just untalented rap. Yeah, I had some friends when that mumble rap stuff was really getting going. At least maybe it wasn't that it was getting going so much as I became aware of it in the early 2000s, 2003, 4, in that ballpark. I had some friends that were in radio and they were constantly making fun of mumble rap. They would do all these bits and stuff. It was really funny. It was really funny. I wish I still had some of that stuff recorded, man. I used to have a bunch of their clips. Those guys were so fast, man. They were really, really funny. I would go hang out with these guys, and when they were like doing their show prep and like trying to come up with like stuff for their, bits and things for their show, and they would just bounce stuff back and forth. I remember one time I went over to my buddy Brian. It's funny because both the guys on the show were named Brian, but one of them went by the name The Mish. He's passed away. He was a good guy. The other guy is also named Brian. He was in my little indie movie that I made. And probably the smartest, sharpest, fastest comic radio person that I've ever been around. And I had a point to this. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the mumble rap thing. So so like there was like this whole they were bouncing ideas about mumble rap going back and forth, and I guess he did like a whole routine where he was a mumble rapper who was retarded. I know that it's not appropriate to say, but that's what he did, and it was some of the funniest shit I ever heard in my life. Like I said, I wish I still had the clips. I would play them for you because it was really funny. I'm gonna have to get back in touch with him again and see if he has any of his old recordings, because I'm sure they would let him share. The station is like, it's changed formats like 3 times since they were on there. I don't think anybody would care, unless he would care. But that would be awesome to share some of that stuff with you guys. I used to run a website for these guys called Damn Radio, like Damn, DAMN, damnradio.com. And we had a chat room and message board and all this kind of stuff that I actually coded in CGI Perl script. This was a long time ago. Good times. We had fun. It was good times. Very fun. Oh man. Let's see. With punk, that was a deliberate rebellion against overpolished glam rock trends. Wiley says, I love music. Yeah, me too. I just love music. I'm not an expert on music. I'm not a music historian by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not in particular educated on music. I just know that if there's something that sounds good, I like it. That's what I know. Activated says, like Sid Vicious wasn't untalented, the guy covered My Way and it was better than Sinatra's original. Well, that's a bold statement. That's a bold statement. Sweet Tender says, it's Cyrus. Have you seen American Movie? Kuya, show me that. I don't know what that is. No. American Movie? Kuya, but also they just sucked. Sid Vicious became the famous one he couldn't play. People can't rap well. People who can't rap well want to listen to other people who can't rap well. It's weird, but it's a thing. That's interesting. That's interesting. I wonder if that holds true for us. Like, we're not particularly good at doing this YouTube thing, but we like to watch YouTube, right? We like to watch other YouTubers. I don't know. There's something about being around your I don't know if peers is the right word, I guess. Yeah. This is our home. This is where we belong. I guess. I don't know. Activated says, listen to the Shags, a group that actually couldn't play. The Sex Pistols had a rough sound by choice. Tricom says, emulation is amazing. That being said, sometimes you need to own the physical copy. My Final Fantasy III cart gets here Monday. Final Fantasy III for Super Nintendo? dude, that's the best RPG ever made. I'm sorry. That's my opinion. People can disagree. I've played through Final Fantasy 3 or 6, whatever, but 3 here in America. I played through that game, I believe, 3 times. And it gets me every time. There's some extremely awesome moments in that game. That's just a really cool RPG. And a lot of secret stuff and, you know, things that you can do or not do, and it changes, you know, the game. It's very cool. I love that game. And the most cinematic opening of an RPG that I had ever seen at the time when it happened. I mean, that's just a really cool game. Okay, it's reliability. Okay. Last line says, "Yep, we are the mumble rap of the gaming scene." Yeah. We should just claim that and just own that. That's who we are. What do you want? That's who we are. That's why Clerks was a big movie. Yeah, you're right. That's mumble rap. It's relatable to millions, not just us specifically. Activated, I can't rap, and I'd always rather listen to MF Doom than somebody like Drake. Yeah. I don't know much about Drake. You know, that's one of those guys that for some reason I didn't really never really listened to much of his stuff. Something about him just didn't appeal to me. I don't know. Cody says, every now and then a YouTuber like RTU breaks through for no reason. That's punk and mumble rap. Right, exactly. Sid Vicious was a 19-year-old heroin addict. He was doing his best. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not, like I said, I'm not a big like music, I don't know all the names and all the, you know, bands and all the histories and stuff. I'm not that guy. I just know that I like stuff and I don't like stuff, and that's it. I know just a little bit, but not very much. Cutie says, Drake's a phony. He was a child actor in Canada. Really? Wiley says, Whiplash film was brutal. Activated says, and as for relatability, it depends. There are some great Korean rappers I like, and Mongolian rock bands, and contemporary Bollywood stuff, and Persian dance club music, and Nigerian reggae. Wow, I don't think I've ever heard music from any of those genres. I don't think I am familiar with any of that music. Last line. Hey, did you see they did a remake of Ninja Gaiden 2 Black in Unreal Engine 5? No, I don't think so. I did see they were doing that new Ninja Gaiden that was like 2D, that's like sort of similar in some ways to the old Ninja Gaidens, but a lot more graphic and gory and stuff. But I didn't see that. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black in Unreal Engine 5. I haven't seen that. I think I have those games on Xbox 360 and PS3. I don't think I have them all on one console, but between like Wii U, 360, and PS3, I think I have those games. But yeah, I didn't see that they had done any kind of Unreal Engine 5 thing. I have to check that out. Tweet asks, Cyrus, do you like furries? No, I don't like furries. I don't like furries. I'm sorry. If somebody else enjoys the furries, good for you. Go have fun with the furries. I'm not down with that. I have... No, we'll just say no. And we'll leave it at that. Last line. Speaking of Mongolian rock bands, The Hue is pretty cool. I never heard of them. Last line. Yeah, they got Ninja Gaiden 2D, but also Ninja Gaiden 4 coming out, and 2 Black stealth dropped. Ninja Gaiden 4. I haven't heard of that either. Ninja Gaiden 4? What is that? Is that like a retro, like a new retro? Like a sequel to Ninja Gaiden 3? Like the old Ninja Gaiden? Or what is that? So Ninja Gaiden fans eating good this year. I gotta look into that because I hadn't heard about Ninja Gaiden 4. Not sure what that is. Activated Complex says the Ninja Gaiden games, I gotta look up which ones are which between all Sigma, this and that. Yeah, it's confusing. It is. Yeah, I got you. Kuya, the no fur zone. Yeah, not really. Look, I'm not trying to crap on anybody. If people can do whatever they want, and you know, whatever. As long as they're not hurting anybody, go have fun, do what you need to do. Enjoy yourself. But no, that's not it's not anything I'm interested in knowing about or pursuing in any form or fashion. The Who. I know who the Who is, not the Hue. I don't know. Tweet says, good thing none of us here are into that. Well, I hope. I mean, whatever. Yeah, okay. So Ninja Gaiden 4 is like the newer style. Oh, okay. I see. Okay. That's too bad. I'm sorry. That's fine. That's cool. But it would have been awesome, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it have been? Wouldn't that be something? To have like Ninja Gaiden 4, the sequel to Ninja Gaiden 3 from the NES. That would be interesting. Activated says live right. Yeah, I don't know what all this. Mike says Cyrus Ninja Gaiden 4 looks like Ninja Gaiden in a cyberpunk environment. Huh. Okay. New Ninja Gaiden 4. Activated. Look up Bollywood 2. Okay. Tweets one of the furries that trash hotels at the convention. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I have nothing else to add to that conversation. Anyway. Like Mega Man 8 and 9. Okay, I got you. I understand. That's what Nintendo should do. Mario 4, new old game. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, right? Wouldn't that be cool? I like that idea. It's like, wouldn't it be cool if we were talking about Rostan earlier? Wouldn't it be cool if somebody made like a Rostan 2 that wasn't that garbage Rostan 2? You know, Rostan Saga 2? Like they made like a legit Rostan 2. I know they did that other one, that Warriors or whatever that was called. But like, wouldn't it have been awesome to have like a Rostan 2 that was the same style as the first Rostan, but like with some improvements, maybe higher resolution graphics or something, but like that same type of music and experience? That sucks. We never got that. That would have been really cool. I'm surprised somebody hasn't done something like that, you know? Last line, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is the name of the 2D game coming out. Yeah, that one looks pretty awesome. I think I'll definitely be buying that one. Or hand-drawn art Mario side-scroller. Yeah. Basserino Mario with Ron Jeremy? No. I don't think Nintendo would be okay with that. They might have a problem with that. They might not be down with that. Although Ron Jeremy could play Bowser pretty easily, I think. Although I don't want to think about that whole situation, so let's not dwell too long in this bizarre fantasy. Tricombe says, I'm starting a Console Hoarders Anonymous support group. Who's attending? I would sign up but never show up. Sorry. I'm sorry. You can keep my dues, though. You can keep my dues. Wiley said, Rostan and Rygar, yes, please. Oh, Rygar. Oh, hell yeah. Yes. And not the arcade one. The NES one. Like a sequel to the NES Rygar. That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty awesome. Basserino, Bob Hoskins was close. Might be a masterpiece with Jeremy. Okay. Last line. Nintendo owns a porn movie starring Ron Jeremy. They bought it so it would never see the light of day. Wow. 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 Okie dokie. Activated Trichome. I could technically be in it, even though my stuff is in boxes. There are 2 PS3s in there and 2 Vitas TVs, one OG with custom firmware and a bunch of other stuff. Console Hoarders Anonymous. Wiley, me at Trichome got 19 Wii consoles? No way, Wiley. No way you have 19 Wii consoles. 19? Why would you have 19 Wii consoles? Look, I'm not anybody to ask this question. You know, I have my own hoarding issues, you know. But 19 Wii consoles? I'm having trouble with this. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be I'm not trying to be a gatekeeper. I'm just having a little trouble here. Help me understand. 19 Wii's. Wow. Trichome, my brothers. Mike says Ron Jeremy was doing a really hot blonde in a flick not too very long ago. Oh, he's in. That's what he does. That's what he does. Trichome, Ron Jeremy's nickname was the Hedgehog. Oh, wow. Bassarino, he would need lots of Wii tennis matches. Activated opening a Wii bowling alley? That's an interesting idea. That's, wow. A Wii bowling alley. That's funny. Wow. I may have to break out my Wii U again. It's not that it's like put up. It's sitting under my TV. I just am not doing anything with it. But somebody was asking me the other day about doing some Wii Sports or something. I was like, I don't know, maybe. But yeah, dude, maybe I should pull out the Wii Sports Resort. I have the those little things you attach to the bottom of your Wiimotes that is supposed to make them better. I don't remember what that's called. I can't remember the name of it. So maybe I could do that, because Wii Sports is a little. You don't even have to really do anything. You just flick the controller around, you know. But like, I think Wii Sports Resort's probably a little bit better. So maybe that's something I could do on a stream. I have to think about it. Bassarino, I think he was doing it with the Charlie Chase. Ooh. Motion Plus. Thank you, Trichome. I couldn't remember what the hell that was called. Motion Plus. Yes. I never got those fancy ones that had that built into it. I never got those. But I do have Motion Plus for both of my Wiimotes. Wally, I can't resist. They were selling for cheap. I always wanted to get the blue Wii, the blue one. And it's probably not a good idea to get it because it doesn't have all the support for everything. I don't think it has GameCube support. But that blue Wii looks really cool. And I've thought about buying one off of eBay several times. I just never did. Just because I think it's cool looking. But I don't need it. I can do all my Wii gaming on my Wii U. I really don't need it for anything. Especially since it doesn't play GameCube stuff. And if I was going to buy a Wii, I should buy a Wii that plays GameCube stuff. Or I guess I could just mod my Wii U and play everything on that. But I don't know. It's not as fun. Trichome says, I have one of the blue controllers. It is really cool looking. It's a very interesting shade of blue, you know? I like it. I like it! So, I don't know. Maybe one of these days. We'll see. I think it's interesting. I've done an entire stream here and haven't played a single game. Just hung out and talked in the chat. Just ran all these pictures of cool stuff that I took photographs of. It's pretty interesting. Basharino, honestly, Wii would have been cool if they did just remote-based games. They never really perfected games that required various attachments. Yeah. I know I never played too much Wii. Like, I played, Wii Sports, a little bit of Wii Sports Resort, and we got that. There's a version of Sega's Knights game that we have, that I have, because I inherited it from my daughter. I need to play it more. I barely played it. There's some shooter games that I have, like House of the Dead 2 and 3, I think is what it is. But I never really played that many Wii games. Like, we had a Wii, but I didn't really, at the time, I didn't really, I mean, I liked Wii Sports, but I didn't mess with the Wii very much. I was like, We hacked our Wii back in the day. And I installed a bunch of emulators on it. That was the most use the Wii really ever got out of me. And then something happened, it got updated, and I lost all the emulators, and I never put them all back on. That was a long time ago. Many, many, many years ago. Silverwings, what's up, dude? Haven't played a game yet? Looks like I'm on time. Yeah, I don't think I'm playing a game tonight. I think we're just hanging out and talking. I don't think there's going to be any gaming tonight. Activated Complex. It's no Cobra Assault Cannon, but I get why you like it. Basserino, I have a Laws Gold Wiimote LOZ. What does that mean? LOZ. That had the Motion Plus. For some reason, those I heard didn't have long lifespans. Oh no, that's terrible. Well, the Wiimotes that I have, both work fine. I did have to buy new battery packs for them. I guess you can just put like AA batteries in them if you want. But as far as the actual technology, it seems to work fine still. But it's been a while, so I have to break them out and put them through some paces. Maybe I will do some kind of Wii-related stream at some point. I don't know. Legend of Zelda. Oh, okay. I was like, what is Laws? LOZ? What is that? Like, what are you talking about? Legend of Zelda. It's because the O wasn't small. That's why I didn't know. Yeah. Mesrino, battery controlled controllers I'm allergic to. Oh no. Oh no. What a terrible night to have a curse. Or an allergy. Alright. Cyrus needs to turn in his gamer card. Yeah, I don't think so. Just because I didn't understand your abbreviation. LOZ. Sheesh. Talk about gatekeeping. Oh my gosh. Last Line's always trying to tell everybody what to do. And with that, I think I will fall on my sword and accept my LOZ to be specific. And I think we'll wrap things up here. Basserino, the O wasn't small. That's what she said. Damn it. Good one. That's a good one. I like that. 10 points. Basserino, 10 points. Absolutely, you've earned 10 points on that one. Okay. Guys, I'm going to wrap up here. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Didn't even play a game, but it's good to hang out. Just look at all my crappy pictures and have some fun. Just chit-chatting. It's pretty good. Activated says, this is the first time I've ever seen anyone abbreviated Zelda as LOZ, and I played the gold cart when it was brand new. Yeah, so what about that, Last Line? Sheesh. Who do you think you are? Going around leaving scars. Dad, 72. Hello, Dad. Welcome. Oh, thank you, Tricom. They're okay. Some of them are better than others. Activated. Have a great night. Thanks for the stream. see you. Have fun, everyone. Yep. Thanks, everybody. Y'all be good. Do your thing. Do your stuff. Go play some games or get some sleep. And I will see you again next time. I'll probably play something else. Maybe. I'm not promising. Maybe we would like to play. Maybe we'll do some Wii. Or maybe some LOZ. Maybe we'll do some LOZ in the his A. Right? Last line? Word up. Yo. Maybe it's a regional thing because I always abbreviate it that way. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Or maybe it's just you. Maybe it's just you. Yeah, sleep is good. Sleep is good. All right, guys. Y'all be good. Take care. I'll see you around the campfire next time. Bye-bye.